Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping straight into what is essentially a cinematic, high-stakes moral thriller. We're taking a really profound look at what it actually means to do the right thing, especially when doing that right thing costs you absolutely everything. Think about this for a second. He did everything right, and it still cost him everything. There was no warning, no slow fade, just one moment, one single split second that could have changed his entire life. Okay, let's dive right into this, because you have to remember, Joseph wasn't where he started. He had already been betrayed, sold out by his own blood, stripped of everything familiar to him. Now he's in Egypt. But here's the thing, he isn't just surviving, he's rising. He earns trust, real responsibility, respect. It looks like everything is finally turning around for him. And that brings us to this incredible point. Presence does not always mean the absence of heat. It means protection right there within it. You see, Joseph didn't just sit around and sulk in his slavery. He worked with such an undeniable excellence that he actually found favor in the most broken of places. Section 1, the pressure shows up, quiet, persistent, and private. Because here's the reality. Temptation is rarely some big, explosive event. It's a persistent whisper. A creeping desire approaching day after day, just trying to wear down your resolve. And we really need to understand, this wasn't actually about Potiphar's wife. Not really. This was about him. It was about who Joseph was when absolutely no one was watching. And this brilliantly illustrates the agonizing reality of his situation. Every single day, it came back. Every day, it got a little bit closer. And every day, he had a choice to make. Does he compromise and keep the comfort he's finally earned, or does he stand firm and risk losing literally all of it? Section 2, the climax, the moment of decision. Then it happens. The tension breaks. No more distance, no more subtlety. This time it's direct, it's immediate, it's completely unavoidable. And what does he do? Run, Joseph, run. Don't look back. In that terrifying moment, Joseph doesn't try to argue. He doesn't negotiate. He doesn't try to, manage the situation. He just hits the door and runs. Let's break down this brutal trade-off. To do the right thing, he had to leave behind his cloak, his reputation, and his hard-earned status. But look at what he kept intact. His soul, his conscience, and his integrity. But man, in that moment, he basically loses everything all over again. He asks, "How could I sin?" His refusal wasn't just about following rules. It was rooted in this deep, unshakable accountability. He knew his primary responsibility was to keep his own heart clean, even when the situation around him had turned incredibly messy. Section 3, the modern connection, today's Egypt. Now, what's really interesting here is how perfectly this ancient trap maps to your reality right now. Because today, it doesn't look like ancient Egypt. It looks like your modern workplace. It looks like private messages or taking shortcuts that no one would ever question. It's those moments where doing the right thing actually costs you your status or your comfort. It happens every single day, right? People trade their integrity for a quick opportunity or some attention because, well, it looks worth it in the moment. The cost always comes later. But Joseph, he chose differently. Section 4, the blueprint, anatomy of temptation. So if you're in a season of pressure like that right now, watch exactly what Joseph did. He survived because he stayed consistent way before the pressure ever came. He flat out refused shortcuts, even when they would have benefited him, and he kept his standards higher than his situation. That right there, that's what protected him. The crucial point is this. Don't try to be strong enough to handle temptation. Be smart enough to run from it. You see, most people don't fall because they're suddenly weak. They fall because they just didn't see it early enough. But Joseph did. He recognized the pattern, he saw exactly where it was going, and he made his decision way before the moment forced it. That's why when it hit, he didn't hesitate for a second. Section 5, the return on integrity, prison, and preparation. Doing the right thing got Joseph thrown straight into chains. To anyone looking from the outside, it looked like a total, devastating failure. But like the saying goes, chains ain't nothing when God's already holding the key. This wasn't wasted time at all. His imprisonment was actually an intense season of refinement. Even in that dark prison, he didn't lose his glow. He was learning how to lead in the absolute darkest places imaginable. What men mean for evil, God turns to good. Remember, true excellence isn't tied to a fancy title. It's tied to your spirit. So your current prison, whatever unfair, frustrating circumstance you might be in right now, well, it might just be the exact preparation you need for your palace. Section 6. What will you choose? I want you to be brutally honest with yourself for a minute. Where are you being tested right now? Seriously, think about the pressures, those quiet little temptations, and the internal conflicts you are currently facing in your own life. And more importantly, what are you tolerating right now that you should be running from? Take a hard look and identify those little compromises you've allowed to quietly persist just because, well, they feel comfortable. And lastly, what would it actually cost you to choose integrity anyway? Because listen, this isn't just an old history lesson. It's a real, tangible decision that you have to make today. You know, most people think Joseph lost everything in this moment, but what they don't realize is that this exact moment is what perfectly positioned him for everything that comes next. So go ahead and watch the next part to see what happens. Take the quiz below to test yourself on this, and be sure to listen to the song inspired by this chapter, because at the end of the day, this isn't just a story, it's a decision.